Hey guys, so today we're doing part 3 of my most expensive series, where we build the most expensive new 2019 Mopars that we can. We've already done the Charger and Challenger, so make sure to check those ones out. And a lot of comments on my last video wanted me to do the Jeep Grand Cherokee, so that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to build the most expensive model, starting at the base Laredo and moving up to the Trackhawk. And as always, the prices are in US dollars, so let's get into it. To give some comparison, let's look at some older prices first of the Jeep Grand Cherokee. So the first model year in 1993 saw the base model cost just $18,990, and the top model was the Wagoneer 4-wheel drive at just under 30 grand. Moving to 2006, the base model was the Laredo, starting at $27,415, while the Overland 4-wheel drive was the most expensive at around $43,000. I chose these years just to show the growth of the price over time that the Cherokee has been around. So now let's get into the 2019 models. I'm going to quickly skim over the first 10 models for prices, and then I'll show the full build for the most two expensive models, which will be the SRT and the Trackhawk. For each model, I'll be adding every option possible, so that will include 4x4, certain colors, packages, and anything that costs extra money. And sometimes packages will overlap and you can only add one or the other, so keep that in mind when you see the video, and I might not be adding every single package for that reason. So we start out with the Laredo at the bottom, with a price tag of $34,390 with just $150 of options. I was surprised to see here that you could add nothing other than the spare tire. The Laredo E is next, so after adding options of $7,325, we got the price up to $41,865. This adds tons of features like 18x8 inch wheels, an all-weather trail rated package, the trailer tow group, and 18-inch terrain tires. This price for the second model of the lineup already cost more than a base SRT8 did 13 years ago. The Upland actually has a higher MSRP than the Laredo E, but I could only add options of around $3,000, so this one maxes out at $40,70, adding things like Stingray paint, black exterior accents, 20x8 inch gloss black wheels, and a power sunroof. The Altitude is next, and that gets up to $42,560 with around $3,600 of options, adding a couple things like black wheels, an 8.4 inch Uconnect system, and a 9-speaker sound system. The Limited is the first model where the price really jumps up, with 16 grand of options up to almost $57,000, and this includes the 5.7 liter V8 Hemi. So from here on out, whenever it's available, we are adding in that Hemi, which automatically adds between $3,000 to $4,000 to the price. So on this Limited, you can add pretty much anything you want, like some sick different wheels, leather packages, rear seat, dual Blu-ray screens, and more. The Limited X is next, and again we see that the max price of this is actually cheaper than the Limited, just because we can't add that many packages to it. But with over $8,000 of options, the price is $53,760 with some 20-inch low-gloss granite crystal wheels, a modified SRT hood, and the 5.7 V8. So through the first 6 Grand Cherokee models, here's a list so far of the most expensive price for each one, with the Limited topping the list. The 7th model is the Trailhawk, and again this will max out in price for roughly the same as the Limited for $56,400 with almost $13,000 of options. And some of these new option choices we see here are going to be the Trailhawk Luxury Group, Interior Metal Group, and Rock Rails. Next is the Overland. After adding $12,000 of options, the price is just under $60,000. Some of the new packages here that we haven't seen in other models include an Off-Road Adventure 2-pack, Quadra Drive 2 4-wheel drive system, and a 19-speaker interior sound system. Another thing, from here on out, most of the Jeeps are going to be an IV tri-coat, since this is the only paint job that costs an additional fee of $595. The 9th model is the High Altitude, which is cheaper than the last model again, even though the MSRP is more. All of the $7,375 of options we have seen before, and that ran up the total to about $58,000. The model right under the SRTs is going to be the Summit, which is the first model to crack 60K with a maxed out price of $66,705, including about $13,000 of options. The Summit has some new options from the rest so far, like a Platinum Series group, signature leather wrapped interior package, and a skid plate group. So now finally we get to the SRT, which comes with a 6.4 liter V8 Hemi, Bilstein active damping suspension, Brembo brakes, launch control, and 5 dynamic drive modes, and it starts at $68,395. For the powertrain, we will add some Brembo red high performance brakes and the engine block heater. Moving on to the packages, we're going to add everything, including the very expensive signature leather wrapped interior package, which costs $5,300 and adds a basically Laguna leather SRT interior. On the exterior, we're going to add the Ivy paint, black satin wheels, and 3-season tires. And going inside, we add the dual pane panoramic sunroof and red seat belts, so that's going to give us a final cost of $86,335 for the SRT, which includes about $16,000 of options. And the top model will cost even more, and before I do it, I'm thinking it's going to clear about $100 grand. That model is going to be the Trackhawk with the 6.2 liter supercharged V8 from the Hellcats with 707 horsepower and 645 pound-feet of torque in this application. For the powertrain, there's just the engine block heater, and the packages are all the same as the SRT, and we're going to be adding them all. The exterior options are all the same as well, with the Ivy, satin black wheels, and 3-season tires, and the interior stuff is all the same again. So when we max out the Trackhawk with $14,755 of options, the price gets up to a crazy $103,150. So in 2019, this is the year where you can pay over $100,000 for a fully loaded Jeep. Just to have some fun, I wanted to see what other kinds of SUVs you can get for this kind of coin. The prices that I show are all going to be the base MSRP, and the Trackhawk was fully loaded, so obviously these would be more expensive if you option them out, but still it's within a ballpark range of what the Grand Cherokee will cost. So all the prices are the starting price for either the 2018 or 2019 models. So basically the Trackhawk is in a class of its own when you look at all these competitors, which will be shown on screen from lowest to highest according to the price. Many of these vehicles are definitely more of a luxury SUV, and even with the Laguna leather interior on the Jeep, that's not going to compare to what some of these SUVs have inside, like Range Rover, BMW, Cadillac, or Porsche. But the Trackhawk is special because from all of these beautiful and beastly SUVs, the Jeep has more horsepower with 707 and more torque with 645 pound-feet. So the next closest on the list would be the BMW X6M, that has 567 horsepower from its 4.4 liter twin-turbo V8. And for torque, the Cayenne Turbo is closest to the Jeep with 568 pound-feet. The Trackhawk is also faster than all of these competitors with a 0 to 60 of just 3.4 seconds, with the X6M close behind, hitting 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, and the Cayenne Turbo at 3.9 seconds, so that's very close as well. Ultimately, if you want a combination of power, off-roading, luxury, and performance, the Trackhawk is a pretty damn good choice. And here's a table just summarizing all the info from the Trackhawk and the competition that I've shown. Make sure to pause the video if you do want a longer look. Anyways, hopefully you liked this video. Which model should I do next? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to like and subscribe for all your Mopar needs, and I'll see you next video.